Today we're bringing you an unfiltered review of Cryptid Cafe from 25th Century Games. I'm Mark Maya.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Chris.
And this is...
Board Game Coffee.
Let's do this.
Vincent, get back here this instant! Oh,
Thank you. Oh, I love you too. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, so we're going to start off with a little overview of what Cryptid Cafe is all about. Now, we just finished a game. That's why the game looks like the way it does. So, and as the result, Chris was the big winner with big 38 points. Kayla came in second with 20. Brittany didn't actually play this round, but she has played in the past. I had 16 points, but we'll get more into details of that later. Okay, so Cryptid Cafe. Here's what it's about. Cryptids, for those of you who don't know, are, as far as I understand, because I might be spreading ignorance here, cryptids are like kind of mythological creatures that are like, what is that called? Like a local...
urban legend.
Urban legend. That's it. That's what the words I was looking for. So it's like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, the Jackalope. Oh, there's some here. Mothman. Like all these. The Wendigo.
Chupacabra.
Yeah, Chupacabra.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So that's what a cryptid is. And this is a Cryptid Cafe. So basically we're playing as like this like Sasquatch, Bigfoot type of guy. And we're, they're like the waiters, waitresses of this world. And they're serving drinks. So we all have like 3 of our own little waiters to control. And we send them out to go pick up orders. Like the guy wants some lattes. Now they all have their own clever names. I don't remember what they are. But he wants 3 lattes or 2 Cinnabons or... actually, that one calls, that's a spider acid, apple spider. Apple spider.
Yeah, apple spider.
Instead of apple cider. So I have a clever name. I don't remember all the names. But it's an apple spider. So basically, everybody takes turns placing their workers in this line. So I'm going to borrow yours. And you can place them wherever you want. Chris, give me one of yours. Just one. Yeah. And basically, people get their orders of wherever they placed. So I'm not placing everybody. Let's just say Kayla got greedy here. There you go. We're doing this. That's fine, Chris. You can keep your guys there. So if it would be something like this, it would be like Kayla would get 3 lattes. I would get 2 lattes. So we would take our lattes. We'd take our Yetis back, or Bigfoot, and then we'd go down the list. Get Cinnabons, get apple spiders, get this crazy meat sandwich, brainwich, and this nasty looking soup. Yeah. And... So that's how it works. Basically, we just get in line, and whoever gets there first, because it's a worker placement, we all take turns, gets more of that stuff. Now, the catch is, whoever's last in line, and only whoever's last, can split their tips. That's what we're working with.
Share their tips. They
can share their tips with the barista here, this octopus person here. And if they do, they get pushed up the line as many spaces as tips they shared. So if whoever blue was shared 2 coins, they can move up 2 spaces, which pushes everybody else back. But that's it. No, but the green guy now doesn't get an option to do that. It's done. It's a one-shot deal, and you can do that once per round, and only the last person. And if you're by yourself, you can't do it. So. That's how you get things. That's how you get all these orders, these foods, these drinks. And you place them on your board, which I have a bunch here. You place them on your board, and you can just save them there. You can put your tips on your tray. You can put your food on your tray. Everything's kept on your tray. And then you don't have to put them on the card, but it's easier to keep track if you put the foods you get on the cards. Because each of your cryptid monsters they have a different order, and their orders are up here. So... this one wants 5 apple spiders, but this one here wants 2 of these brain sandwiches and 3 lattes. So once you give them what they want, you put the foods or their order back into the supply, and then you cash this guy out. So because I fulfilled this Loveland Frogman, because I fulfilled his order. And he's in the orange zone, it says he'll leave me $1 tip. So then I'll get that tip, and I collect him as a happy customer. Now, if I got him sooner along this row, like if I got him while he was in green, he would get me $3. And as you can see, the guys with more complicated orders give you bigger tips based on where they are. And if they happen to, and every round these guys move 1 or 2 spaces, and how much they move is up to the player to choose. Now, if they move too far off the board, then they're walkouts. You won't get a tip, and at the end of the game, you collect a bunch of walkouts, and you'll actually lose money based on this black space here, based on how many walkouts you had. So if these 2 walked out, I would lose $2. So that's how the walkouts work. Now, the reason these guys move is you have to choose 1 or 2 spaces for them to move, and everybody moves 1 or 2 spaces. The reason you would want to move 2 spaces is because the amount of new cryptids you get, new customers, is based on your free available green spaces. So if I have 2 available green spaces, I get 2 new customers. So you might want to move 2 spaces so you can get more customers, give you more options to spend your food. But it's risky because you're pushing monsters off the end, so you could be losing tips. So it's a little bit of press your luck in that regard. And then aside from like filling orders and getting tips from those guys and losing tips from the guys that leave,
Walk out.
you get bonus points at the end based on sets, because each of these cryptids belong to a set. So like, I think that's air, I can't remember all the symbols. This little squiggly line, that's water for sure. And I'm guessing the little pyramids, the little triangles are like earth. So it's like earth, water, air. So there are different types of cryptids that belong to these different, categories. Now, if you get 3 of them, it's worth 3 points. But if you have like just 2 of them, it's no points, because these guys they're only worth points once you have at least 3. Then they're worth 1 point each. And then every one you'd get after that adds to that. So this group would be 4 points. So there's a reason for collecting certain types of cryptids, or I guess putting them ahead of other cryptids, because you want to get sets because they give you bonus points at the end, which helps. There's also events in the game, and events look like, here's some. Everybody gets, and here's the thing you should know, is everybody gets a deck of cards that's exactly the same, but and they're all like individually sleeved. So when you start the game, you just take out your deck of cards from these sleeves that right now I have put away. But you'll also get a bunch of these events. Now, you don't use all the events. You'll only grab 2 at random and you shuffle them into your deck. And events are either something like this, where this blocks out all the apple spiders. So for that round, no apple spiders can be bought or ordered. And the other one is this one, which is at the end of the round, all cryptid customers move 2 spaces, which is crappy if you have 2 on the end, because then 2 are going to move out, and that's bad. That's not good. So that's how that works. And the way the events work is, if you have 2 of the same events come up, like if 2 events come up, it's decided by whoever the first player is. Whoever's closest to the first player is the one their event takes precedence over yours. Okay. And the game lasts for, if you're playing a 3-player game, like we did, it lasts 9 rounds. And there's a little kind of round tracker over there that Kayla was tracking. And if you're playing, 4 players, it goes to 8 rounds. Mm-hmm. And what I'm confused about is that last part. It says 5 players, 10 rounds. But this game plays it plays 1 to 4 players. So I'm not sure when that comes into play.
Maybe there's an expansion coming we don't know about.
Maybe. So I think that's the gist. Did I miss anything major?
The only specialty cards. That's it.
Oh yeah, there's specialty cards that give you special abilities, and everybody has them. Like the manager card that allows you to swap your customers. Then there's the change one of your customers' orders, where basically, if I want to fulfill this cryptid's order, I can say that he doesn't want this, he just wants this. But what it does, basically, in layman's terms, this card makes this card a copy of this one. And then when you fulfill it, it goes into your collected pile, but then it becomes whatever it is. That's the easiest way to describe that card, I think. And you get to use each of those powers. Everybody has the exact same 2. You get to use them each once per game, and then you're done. Now, I think I've covered everything. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much how the game works. It's a pretty simple game. So basically, all you're going to do is you're filling orders to earn tips, and all the tips are points. At the end, you're calculating all your monies, and that's it. You also lose money at the end of the game for having too much food, so which is
way too much food.
Yeah, kill out way too much food. Yeah. So basically, you count how much food you had left over, cut that in half, round it down, and that's how many points you lose.
See how much food I had left over, Britt? Nothing.
Oh, you lose money.
Yeah, you lose money. Yes. Yeah, you lose tips, because the kitchen doesn't like it when you're wasting food. When you're wasting food, it makes sense. Okay, And the first player marker goes around the table, so everybody gets a chance to go first, which is not always good, but we'll get into that. Okay, so that is the quick and dirty overview of Cryptid Cafe. Now, we're going to get into the review. You ready? Okay, here we go. I need a little sippy sip of my drink. Now, I've been moving around the format just so you guys know, and I believe everybody's had their notes, and if you guys need to reference your notes, that's fine. Not notes of like, this is the first we've actually talked about what we think of the game, but I did share of like, these are the categories we're going to cover. Now, throughout our Unfiltered reviews, I'm going to kind of massage that a bit and iron it out and figure out what the perfect combination order of events is. So, this is the first change. First thing we're going to talk about is aesthetics and theme. Basically, what do we think the game, like how do we think the game looks, like its aesthetics, its component quality, and how does it fit into the theme? Does it draw you in? So, while I drink, you guys can go. Go.
I love the artwork.
I do too.
It's beautiful.
I think this is something that if I saw on the table, I would instantly want to play because of the artwork. It's just fun. It's bright. I like the colors. It's friendly, I guess. Like, it seems like a welcoming game to the table.
I agree that, like, as soon as I look at this, I love this. This is the first thing I pulled out, and I was like, I love the art of this.
Such an awesome monster.
It's like this monster, this barista.
The food looks good, even though it's all, I mean, it's like a brain sandwich. I wouldn't actually.
It's got an eyeball on it.
But it look like it's so well
illustrated
that you feel like you're at like a Starbucks or a Cinnabon or you're at
It's
some type of
perfect timing
restaurant.
because we got Halloween right around the corner. So
Yeah.
This is
a fun little Halloween
This is a good
game.
Halloween themed game for like the kids.
Yeah.
So like the art, I think is very, very kid friendly. Like
Absolutely.
if you want to get into that kind of like that Halloween theme with your kids, this is
fun.
perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's all very fun, very welcoming, very fun and welcoming. That covers most of it. And as far as the component quality, the cards are big and colorful, but they're basic card stock. These minis are nice. They're like big and
It's a nice
chunky.
thick card stock.
Well, we've had thicker. They're okay. I think they're average card stock. Like
Okay.
they're not bad or good. They're just card stock.
stock.
They're they have everything is nice gloss. All the colors are nice, and like I said, I like these little minis, and I like all the artwork and things like you said. So.
Yeah.
they're very vibrant. I was bringing it out.
And the illustrations on how each character looks is a lot of fun. Like they're really cool looking characters.
I also think the color coordination with your what are these called? Your tableaus?
Your tableaus, sure. Your trays, your
I think
track.
they're user friendly. Like they're pretty straightforward that there's no words on these cards except for the name of the monster, which I think is fun.
They're
it's
cryptids.
Cryptids.
Cryptids,
sorry.
not monsters.
Cryptids. But the color coordination, it's pretty easy to understand. So that's nice because you don't have to constantly be referencing anything, wondering like, oh no, where did they go?
And so
it's straightforward with patterns.
What also I like is it is a color coded system, like you said, which is great. But they also have shapes in the back of the colors, so if you are colorblind, you can go by the different shapes. There's waves and squiggles and swirls, and so that helps out.
Yep.
Oh, didn't even notice that. No,
Me neither.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that covers theme is but with the theme that covers the aesthetics. But the theme, do you feel like? For me, I actually feel like I am a barista serving these monsters. And I think it's because of this little tray thing here. I'm going to clear this out. Like, that looks like, the tray you would hold. It's only half of one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But,
Very
it's got
small
the little coffee stain and everything on there.
There's a little
But
chip in it.
I do feel like I am going out to the counter to get my orders. Like, I want this. And then somebody bribes the barista to, like, move up front. And I'm like, you're a bit of a dick. But, I get it. I respect that.
I bribe every time.
So, but I do feel like the theme does draw me in. It fits really well.
definitely agree.
Okay, let's move on to learning. Now, I taught you guys how to play this game. What did you think? Hard to learn?
Very easy. You showed me just before we started playing, and I It was no time at all.
Oh yeah, keep in mind, like, this is Chris's first game, and the rest of us, we've played a few times. So like the three of us have played a few times. This is Chris's first game.
Yeah, and it was very easy to learn. There's no complications. The colors match, the numbers. It was very visually, the iconography. It was very well done. That you could see everything. You match the icons. Everything was just very easily match, boom, 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 done, done, done.
Yeah.
Move on. Next
One round and you're good.
Yeah.
And as a mother of 4 kids, I'd say this is easy for kids to learn because it's, you know, younger ages on it, but
They can just follow the
there wouldn't have questions on how to do things. It's all pretty
I think
straightforward.
when it comes to learning, like every time I sit down to read a rule book, before I even see it, I'm always like, oh, this is gonna be a pain. No matter what the game is, it's gonna be a pain. But when the art looks like this, I'm like, how hard could it be? You know, like the art's friendly, so I'm like, how hard could it be? I can take this. And I think the rule book answers. I think there was one question I had that I looked up on Board Game Geek, and I can't remember what it was. I think the question was, because I don't know if this was answered in the rule book, is if you pull an event, do I get to pull a monster to replace that event? And the answer that I found was yes, because I thought it was a kind of a crappy thing to happen if I pulled an event and not a monster, because events are hidden in your decks. Oh, there's one right there.
But
My next card is going to be an event.
To be fair to the game, you looking up questions is not an uncommon thing.
No.
So it's
no.
not like the
Right.
rule book
No,
was.
but I'm not sure the rule book actually explained that part.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like maybe I missed it, maybe I overlooked it, but I didn't see it, and other people got confused because there was a thread on Board Game Geek discussing that. But learning the game was easy, and for me as a person teaching it was easy. You guys all grasped it. It's one of those games where I could just go through pretty quick. It was like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. That's pretty much the gist.
I also think it's one of those games you could bring back to the table and get into pretty easily, even if you haven't played for a while, because it's so straightforward with
I think
the artwork.
the very first time we played, I raced through the rule book and we did some things wrong, but we didn't necessarily play it wrong. The order of events, like how you can share your tips with the barista at the counter, that we kind of just like everybody just did whatever they wanted wherever they wanted, because it still kind of worked.
We still did it right. We
Yeah.
just did it out of order.
Yeah, we just did it right. We did it out of order, but it still worked. And once you get used to this game, everybody gets ahead of each other a little bit, which can only cause I think it only causes a problem with one card where it's like I can copy your character, because if you pulled it off the board already, but it's not a terrible thing to backtrack. You'll be like, okay, where was he when you pulled him off the board? So it's not terrible. So easy game to learn, and if you make any mistakes, it's easy to kind of like backtrack. Unless you're Chris and clearly cheated. So
I just
You're
understood
just
the
jealous.
game really, really well. It reminded me of other games that I've played, and it was just very easy to just do the math on it and just plan it out. Boom, boom, boom. And just hit him hard, hit him fast, and it worked.
first of all, you
Really
shouldn't be hitting your customers.
They pay better then.
What are you saying?
One of the things, I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but I do like the fact that there are different like clusters, like groupings to get more points at the
Yeah,
end.
I mentioned at the beginning of
Did you?
the overview. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I like that aspect of it because I feel like you're more willing to let someone walk out.
You're getting
if
into
it can-
gameplay territory.
Sorry.
We're just talking about learning.
I know, I like it.
Pull it back. All right, let's go out of let's leave learning. So learning curve, it's an easy game to learn.
Absolutely.
If you have kids, I don't think you'd have any problem teaching them to. What is the age
I
group?
think this would be a fun family game.
It's ages 10 and up. Now we don't have a 10-year-old. We have a 1-year-old.
You got a Chris, though.
He's like a 10-year-old.
See?
Chris is like a 10-year-old, and Chris picked it up great.
Really well.
Yeah, so he did great. All right, replayability. So how replayable is this game to you guys?
For me, I would say yes, but I would burn out pretty quick. Like, because of us playing games, trying to learn games and doing it repetitively to try to understand the game, I think maybe a couple days and I'd start to get a little burnt out from it.
I think we could replay with kids, though.
Yeah.
Kids
Oh,
would
yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
replaying it, and as a parent, I wouldn't mind replaying this. There's some games I don't like to replay, but this one would
Yeah,
be okay.
and I agree with that. Like
Agreed.
if if we had kids that were old enough to play this,
Yeah.
then I could, if they were like, let's play this again, I was like, yeah, it's light enough, it's light and floofy, that I could play this again and get into it and wouldn't get bogged down by it and be like, oh my God, roll the dice, pop the bubble, whatever the game is, right? Like, it's fine that way. Because it's got enough strategy to keep, mom and dad occupied. And the kids are just like, yeah, they might have a strategy. Maybe they'll just fall into something, but it doesn't matter. It's easy enough to do that.
And there's enough variations in the cards that come up randomly, especially with the events coming in, that it mixes up the game.
Like, there's not a huge amount of variety in events and monsters, but the game is so short and you play so fast that it's a good amount. But as far as replayability for me, I think like if I played this, here's the thing. I played this game once because it was sent to us as a review copy. The first time, and I was like, okay, I'll play it a few times because it's a review copy, and I don't mind. I didn't mind playing it, but in the back of my brain, I was like, if somebody bought me this as a gift, okay? Because I don't think I'd go out and buy this. It looks a little too light for me, right? But if somebody bought me this as a gift and I played it once, I might play it twice and then never again. But it's something I would keep on the shelf, so if kids came over, a younger group came over, then I'd be like, hey, kids, I got the game just for you, because I don't have a lot of games for kids. So I don't mind keeping this mini collection to play again with kids. But as with you guys, I don't ever need to play this game again, because it's too simple for us. It doesn't occupy our brains like a lot of the other games we have.
Yeah.
Right, so
Definitely seeing a kid play it, you guys are absolutely correct. When you see that kid play it and see the enjoyment that they have, getting involved with it, I think that would bring a whole new aspect to the game.
But for me, like, unless a kid comes over and plays, I'm never going to play this game again.
But this is something I would buy if we had kids in that age range.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even 8. I think an 8-year-old could also probably jump into this.
I'm probably going to steal it from my nieces.
Yeah,
I'm going to borrow it from my nieces. I want to see them play this game now.
Yeah.
So it's a great family game.
Okay. All right. So that's where we sit on replayability. Yeah. So overall, as adults, we wouldn't replay it, but we are willing to play this with kids because it's friendly enough. It's not like we don't hate it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my God, it's not a chore to play it.
No.
And you could,
it's a light, fluffy. It's kind of...
I also don't think there's fighting that would happen. Maybe people might get a little upset with like the switching of spots, but this isn't like a Monopoly where you're friends at the beginning.
Well, I think this last game, the last game was fine, but there was definitely like a game we played with you that you moved some things with you and Kayla that I could have easily punched you guys in the face.
That was me.
But
you didn't. Don't worry.
Okay, next gameplay. Go.
So I think it feels balanced. I don't ever feel like someone else has an advantage over me because they got certain cards or anything like that. I think it does a really good job at making it feel fair.
Well, you can get things...
It's more of a race.
I think...
But
like,
we're all like equals in a way.
I don't know if like I've paid attention enough from the games we've played, if it matters, because like you can get a monster or a cryptid that is easier to fill in the beginning, so you're getting their big points right away. You're getting the bigger points right away, like their bigger tips. But if you get like a really two complicated monsters at the start, because everybody starts with 2 monsters, and you feel like they're running toward the end, and by the time you get them, you only get like $2 or $3. So it's like, I could have got 7. And because I got them early, where if I got them later in the game, then I could be piling up food. But at the same time, I could have spent that food on the smaller guys. So I don't know. Like, it sounds balanced.
But I also feel like there's enough of a variety of like the big guys and the small guy, or not. Sorry, the big tippers and the small tippers, that I feel like even if you miss one, you can make it up later. I felt that way anyways. I never felt like I was missing out. I was like, okay, there's more coming out, and I was fine.
Yeah, this time I focused on the big numbers in the green area, and I let a lot, as you can see, of walkouts happen because I just wanted to see how that played. And I got second place. I beat Mark, so
you did.
Worked out all right.
You did. Now, again, I don't want to diminish Chris's win. Chris did great. From here, it looks like he did great. But in all fairness, I wasn't watching Chris. Me and Kayla both think he might have cheated.
Yeah, of course.
So,
it's Chris.
And like, not cheated on purpose.
Chris doesn't cheat.
No, not on purpose.
I'm on your side, Chris.
Hold on.
Thanks, Rick.
Not on purpose. I'm not saying Chris cheated on purpose. Chris gets confused. You know when Grandpa and you're like, oh, Grandpa
It's
put his
okay.
underwear in the freezer again. He got confused. Chris gets confused. And
So we've come to the conclusion that whenever Mark's losing, there's some type of an excuse.
no.
Like Chris must be cheating.
Must be.
There's no way he got that many points above me.
No, it's even if I got 40, I would say Chris cheated. Maybe every time he got an order, he just gave himself the green tip. Who knows? I don't know.
Just because I can do math
I don't know,
better
Chris.
than you.
Maybe he just didn't move his
You
cards
forgot-
down all the time.
you forgot
I don't
to give
know.
yourself
I don't
tips.
know. And I'm pretty sure I did forget to give myself tips. Mind you, seeing the loadout that Chris has there, I don't think if I would have won, but I'm pretty sure I was like filling orders and being like, yeah, got that next. Yeah, got that next. Because I had more characters than you. Then I had a $5 coin sitting there. I was like, that doesn't seem right. I was buying, but you can only buy once per round. And I was like, the most I could spend is 2 at a time. And I wasn't the only one doing that. And I was so far behind everybody else in money. Most of the points I got were at the end because I was collecting sets. And that's where I was like, yeah, and just collecting them. And I think I'm forgetting to do this part. Until the end, I'm like, I don't know if I've done that every time. So I don't know. I
think I had a good set too where it was you'd have some big hitters and then small hitters. Big hitters, and I had that combination and they were all tend to be the same wind, air, and they were matching up really well. And it was just like, okay, I'm getting them. And it was like, cake in this one, cake in that one, cake in that one. Or Cinnabons. It was like boom, boom, boom. It was like, if I just keep loading up in the Cinnabons, I was like, I can get 2 or 3 of them. It was just jiving really well.
Now, I think that like the issue I had where like I might have forgotten the things. I don't think it's an issue you'd normally have. It's because we raced through this game. Mm-hmm. We did, but we raced through it because we were like, this is so simple. We're just like, just simple, just race through. I get it. We drop our guys there. It's like, are you gonna, and then we just did it in order. Are you going to pay? You're going to pay. Nope. Okay, then you just move them to the front of the row. Everybody takes their food. Everybody grabs their food. And then we settled. We all like fed our customers what they ordered. And we just handled it ourselves. And we're just racing through. But I think in that race, I think I might have missed something. But I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. Maybe I did. Maybe I just did terrible. I don't know. But as far as gameplay, it's very, very simple. Mm-hmm. It is very simple, but there are certain things about like when you come here. Here's something I don't get. Maybe you guys can explain this to me. You take your Yeti, all right? Let's clear this up. Your server, whatever. He's a Bigfoot. Your Yeti's it's this guy. So he's a Bigfoot. So you take your server, your Bigfoot, your worker, whatever, what have you. I'm gonna take my guy, and you have an option to go here. Now. You don't have to go on 3. But there's not many cases where you wouldn't go on 3 all the time. So even if I only need 1 apple spider, I'm going to go on the 3 apple spiders. Because I'll always be able to use that later. And if anything, I'm screwing you guys.
I think I just figured it out.
Which is great. But now let's say this is what happened, right?
Oh.
If you go
Unless
last,
you wanted to get bumped.
Yeah. No, but here, let's say this. Let's say instead of going 3, I went to 1. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't get full.
Yeah, but it doesn't get full, then I'm stuck on 1. Mm-hmm. If nobody else goes to apple spider, I'm stuck on 1. Yeah. But I can see that and I can guess that, sure. But then if you go here,
and you get
then I can pay 2 coins, so I lose 2 coins.
Guaranteed the 3.
Yeah, you're guaranteed the 3, but I'm also guaranteed to lose 2 coins. And most of the tips I get, by the time they get down here, like, if you subtract 2 coins from these tips, a lot of these tips, like, this is a bigger monster, a lot of these tips equal not a whole lot. This guy, for example.
Okay, so, I get what you're saying, but let's take a look at Kayla's board here. So she lost a whole bunch of points because she had extra food she wasn't going to use. So towards the end of the game, if you know that that's going to be a negative point, then you might choose a smaller number.
Sure. And you might do that.
Right? But if you see that there's no
but even when I wanted
apple spiders.
Even when I wanted a smaller number, but that only really comes to play at the end of the round. Mm-hmm. If I wanted a smaller number, then I would still go to there's times where I wanted 1 soup, but I was like, I'll go here because somebody's gonna bump me down, and they did. I was like, I got 2 soup. I'm still okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather be there than wanting 2 and then you push to 1. Because getting pushed to 1 has screwed me more often than getting pushed to 2. Mm-hmm. But I still don't feel I don't think I've ever been like, I'm going to go on
No
one
one
first.
has done that.
I've never seen that happen.
I would think you'd really have to focus on what you're doing and everyone else and see that they need those ones. And then be like, okay, everyone needs this one thing. Go to one because everyone's going to go there and I'm going to...
No.
Like, actually, we had that with the... where Caleb pulled out 2 scenarios where it blocked 2 items. So we were guaranteed that all 3 of us had to go on the other 3 items. In that situation, picking that one would have guaranteed you would have got top. So I could see it, but you got to really be focused on
when your position changes, like when you, because it goes around, it's like when I'm last, then the thing I want the most, I would bid on last. Because then I was like, I'm either on 2 or I'm on 1, depending who goes there. If nobody's there, on 3, I don't have to pay anything. Great. But I would, that's the time it came into play most, is when I got to play last. But when I got to play first, it was kind of, but like you brought up a good point. When the events come up, that might be something to do. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's...
We didn't do it, but I'm like, oh, maybe now looking back, that could have been a situation.
Yeah, possibly. I just don't think any of us really took advantage of it that way. It was always an
We were
afterthought.
like, go.
It was an afterthought. It was just
More.
I'll take
Yeah.
that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Because in most cases I did. And there wasn't a lot of cases where I didn't pay to go up. Mind you, I lost. So
Yeah, see, my mind was always like, okay, I'd need a lot of lattes. So it became lattes, cinnamon buns, and brainwich.
say cinema buns.
Cinnamon buns. So it became, that was my top,
Yeah.
second, third, and I just went that way.
Okay.
This game really does make me want to have a latte and a cinnamon though.
I do feel
Did they mention it? Yeah.
I could really
far-
go for one right now.
as far as the game goes, I feel like so many times I'm like struggling to get something in green. Like I was struggling to get something in green because I always had I feel like I always had the big guys in green when I don't want them there, and I was like, it's not working out for me. Okay, but
That's why you lost.
But
Anyways,
the
next
gameplay
topic.
again, yeah, sir. But overall gameplay, I thought gameplay was very, very simple. And for me, the concept of like just collecting food to fill orders, it didn't excite me. It didn't have enough gameplay for me.
I don't mind this game at all. But sometimes I like simple games like this.
All right,
Because
well,
it's more of like
let's
a relaxing night.
hold that thought.
Very
Hold that thought.
friendly.
And we're gonna get to. We're almost there. We're almost at final thoughts. Hold that thought to final thoughts. Player interaction. We kind of covered that a bit in gameplay. Now the only player interaction I see is us blocking each other and kind of bumping each other out of this row. And that is annoying in a good way as far as like gameplay, because I hate when you do it. I'm like, you son of a... But, I get it. It's annoying, but it's not an annoying I hate. It was like, it falls into the gameplay. Like,
But I don't think it's one of those games where you intentionally look around and go, okay, you need this, I'm going to go here. I don't think you really, it's more of
I've done it a
this is
couple
what I
times.
want. Really?
No.
I haven't done that.
No,
Yeah,
mine was just
it
like,
was
this is
more
what I
of
want.
like I wanted to guarantee myself a certain number, so I would look around to see like what do they actually want.
But then you could do that strategy where you're just like, boop, go 1 and then pay 2 to always guarantee it. But then when you do that, you get screwed when nobody wants a latte. You're like,
I could
That
see you, even
backfired.
if you needed the latte, not going there because I did that. But you're that type of player.
well, there I would. If I could screw you like that, I would.
I would never do that move because I know that you just wouldn't do it. And I would backfire instantly.
There, yeah, because I feel if you did this,
No
if you
one's
did
going
this,
there. Yeah, no
I was
one's
like,
going
nobody's gonna
there,
go there.
'cause you
Because I was
guys
like,
are
I'm not gonna
all
help you.
jerks.
I'm not gonna help you screw me. No thanks.
Yeah.
Because you're basically being like, I'm gonna screw whoever goes there. That's what that's saying. So again, that kind of works against that strategy, because if you're at a table like us and we're like, well, you screwed yourself, I'll get lattes next turn. I'll be fine. You take your 1 latte. But yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, the bumping is the only thing I really paid attention. As far as paying attention to your guys, the only time I did that was with the one ability that we all have, which is I can
Copying the
copy
card.
one of your cards to fill your order to collect my monster. That's the only time. Once that card was used, I didn't really care what you had, because I had so many monsters on here that like this guy needs 5. All together, I needed 5 of everything. If I added up, 2 sandwiches, 3 sandwiches, 2 sandwiches, 1 sandwich, that's like 8 or 7. But I didn't do the math on that. But like, there's tons. Like I always need tons of everything. So I'm like, well, 3 on everything. Whatever I get, I'll figure it out. Right? And it's like I did some bad math at the end, so I got stuck with 6 food. But
At what?
That's-
one? Yeah. Just saying. Focused.
nobody's talking to you. Nobody's talking to you. So okay, well, so player interaction fairly light,
Yes.
but it's there. I don't feel like I'm playing by myself necessarily. Like when I'm doing my orders, I'm like, okay, I'm focused on doing my orders. But I do definitely feel like I'm playing against everybody there. So there's
Agree.
that. All right, now game length. Does it feel long?
No.
No.
Not absolutely not. I think
Nice,
quick.
quick game. You can
Yeah.
sit down and play in half an hour.
Yeah,
And
I think we record only the last round for the unfiltered reviews to see if we can get some bloopers, some B-roll, something to use. And I think we came down.
It
and
wasn't
recorded
even
that,
10 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
No,
we
'cause
left
you had a timer
because
for the
we had a
chicken.
timer for the chicken wings.
Chicken
we were
wings.
making.
Yeah, and I came
It was
down.
11
I sat
minutes on the
down,
timer.
Turned on the camera, came up, and there's still like 3 minutes left. So we played that in like 4 minutes that last round.
Yeah.
So it's a fast game once you get
Xavier
going.
wasn't even done his bottle of milk.
No, so it's
Yeah.
it's the fastest one of the like as far as rounds go. Like there's 9 rounds, but like that, it's so quick. It's one of the fastest games I think we've ever played, as far as game length goes.
for sure.
So what does it say for game? I'm curious. 30 to 45 minutes. I think this might be one of the few games that will underdo that.
I think
Whoa.
that is family. So
Yeah.
if you're
family
if-
speed with kids.
that's
would be
family
slower.
Yeah,
speed
yeah.
with like maybe 4 or really young kids.
Agreed. Yeah,
Which is-
with family, but with us,
With us,
we
yeah.
probably do it in 15, 20 minutes. Knock it out. Boom. Done.
Which is kind of
So-
surprising. We never do that.
No, but but yeah. So if
Overthink everything.
you're a group of like adults playing this game, then you're gonna knock this game out in like 20 minutes. It's really simple. Okay, so we're good.
So if you're a person who likes fast games and quick games, I think they would probably really like this.
Bring that up when we get to final thoughts. I have a count. No, not sorry.
Oh.
You brought it up at the right point, but my point does not fit in this category.
Oh.
You brought it up at the right point, but bring that up again and when we get to final
If I
thoughts.
remember,
What was it?
genius just comes to me.
You can't stop.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna remember. it.
Bring that up again. Okay. Okay, next we're here. Final
Final
thoughts.
thoughts.
Let's go into we're in the final thoughts. So what
Okay,
did
go,
you
Brittany.
what did you just say?
I don't remember.
Somebody, come on. What did Brittany just say?
No, she hadn't said it yet.
She
Oh
did.
yeah.
she
So
did.
for people who like fast games, who like to play a lot of games,
Yeah.
then they would like this.
Aha. I disagree. Because like if you like playing again, I'm talking about just adults because that was your defense too. If there's no kids, but you like playing fast games, because there's no such thing as fast game with kids. So if you're an adult and you like playing fast games, I don't think this is it. I think there's a lot more games that have a lot more depth that play fast. That's what you'd want. I think any adult who plays this and just likes, I think it'd get old.
It's a kid's game.
It is a kid's game. So I don't think somebody who's just looking for a filler game, there's so many more advanced games suited for an older audience that would fit better that category of a fast game. I don't think this game offers enough for an adult to be like, it's a fast game. Because the time it takes is not so much us thinking or playing or strategizing. I feel it's just us going through the motions is what takes the time. It just takes time to put guys and collect your things and figure out where the pieces go. That takes your time.
Okay, fair.
If everything was instant, if it was just like place and things come up and they fly to your board, this game would be 5 minutes. Like that's how much thought goes into this. It's very light. So I don't think that that fits for that.
To be fair, you always lose at this game, so you're not putting a lot of thought
I don't always
into.
lose.
You lost the first game because I won.
I don't think I always lose.
You lost a lot.
Your record definitely isn't good. Just say that.
Hey, I might not be good at this game. Granted.
Because like I'll look at the front, and I'll try to manage based on strategy, and sometimes it hurts my brain because I'm pulling like the ingredients. Okay, hurts my brain is a little.
Wow.
That's maybe an
A little
overstatement.
over the top.
Yeah, but like I'm still thinking about the strategy of like what's going to get me the most points for what I have, and
Well-
it's done me well.
If we look at things like
Again, this is not a high strategy game. I'm just saying like there is thinking involved if you want it to be.
there is like as far as like we're like a very AP group. We're very analysis paralysis people.
Totally.
And this game it still has there's
are good for this
no
game.
but there's the odd moment we've had where we're like what do I want? Do I want the sound? Do I want this? What's Chris going to take? There's the odd moment where that happens, but it's not huge. It happens every once in a while. And I feel it's funny. In my head, when that happens, I'm like, why am I stuck like this on this game?
It's just a coffee.
Just do it. Just do it. I'll figure it out. I'm thinking too much about this. Like I actually catch myself being like, I'm thinking too much about this. And as far as like the thought of like downtime between turns, there isn't any.
There isn't.
No.
Because
We were all waiting with. We're like, as soon as
yeah,
you
we're like
pick
bam,
it-
bam,
Yeah.
bam, 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 bam. Like it's short. So downtime between turns is pretty much non-existent. And but like any other thoughts before we think like final thoughts? Anything you want to say? Because personally, could like for kids.
I would
great.
recommend
For kids,
this
I would
for a
definitely-
family-friendly.
I would
game
definitely
night.
I
recommend.
think
this
we're
game
being
for
hard on this game. We're judging it as an adult's view on
And
it,
it-
but it's
Yeah.
meant
No,
for
we are.
kids, and it's
I
for
know,
kids.
and I
It's
get
great.
it. And I get
Yeah.
it. But I am viewing as an adult because that's what I know. Everything I say as kids, we don't have kids that can play. So everything I say is just like speculation and like I'm assumptions. I'm just assuming kids would
I'm
like
not
this.
assuming anything.
Oh, yeah, and you would know. So you talk for yourself.
Yeah.
I will talk for myself. Because
Yeah.
for me, as an adult playing this, and again, I'm talking to other people who are adults who play board games, if there's no kids at the table, I
Then
don't
you
know
probably wouldn't
I don't know
realize
how much you'll get out of this. Not necessarily kids, but you might have somebody who is like, I don't know, like a grandma or grandpa or mother or dad who's like
Doesn't
something
play games.
simple and light. You know what I mean? They don't play games. You could do this. So it's very light. The light level is like so light. After playing this game once, I wouldn't buy this for myself. If we have kids, yes, I would buy this for myself. So as far as my recommendation, I say if you're just an adult playing games and you like games like
strategy
what you
games.
see on the shelf, actually, there might be something here that matches that. I don't know. I don't even know what's on there. But if you like, you like Euros, even if you like Euro zombie sides, like those are simple.
This is gonna be too late for you.
You're not going to dig this. So this isn't for you. But if you have kids, you want something to play with, which a lot of our viewers have kids, I think this is perfect.
Oh yeah.
You want to play with your little girl, your little boy, done. This is the thing for you. Thoughts? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you recommend it? Should you buy it?
I recommend it for families.
Absolutely.
Families for sure.
Families for sure.
Yeah, because I really like to borrow this and play with the nieces and nephews. I think they'd really enjoy it. It's a nice, quick, easy one. And the colors and stuff. I just think like looking at the cards and playing with them.
Yeah.
What's that monster? What's that say? What's that say? I think you just really enjoy the overall experience of it. With the adults with us, yeah, I can't see us playing it again.
No.
But kids
Yeah,
involved
so
for sure.
in this group, the group you see on camera, if you're bringing it out, I'm never going to bring this out again for us to play.
I would bring this out for photos
It's pretty.
Oh yeah.
because it's so pretty. So
And Halloween.
for like a Halloween themed like Instagram post, I would absolutely bring this out again because it's
Okay.
a really pretty game. But maybe not to play
All right.
until we have kids that come over.
So I think we all agree. As adults only group, no.
Thank you.
Family, definitely yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're if you're a group of family gamers, absolutely check out Cryptid Cafe from 25th Century Games. I think we're good there.
Yeah.
Let's leave it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on another. Oh, we're here. Let's use this again. Thanks for joining us on another unfiltered review here at Board Game Coffee. We hope you enjoyed it because we enjoyed reviewing it. These are fun to do. So subscribe, like, tell your friends if you like these videos, so we can keep doing them. And that is it. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I definitely forgot to take. I must
Sure
have.
you did.
Oh, come on. I can't be this far behind. I've got 16. Look at this. I got 6, and I got matching sets. And I've only lost $1. I fucked up. I messed up for sure. Chris, what do you have?
38.
38. There's no
No
way.
way.
Chris either cheated
Count that shit.
or cheated.
Motherfuckers, count
Yeah.
that shit.
How can we count it? They're off the board already. Do you know how the game works?
Yeah. I can't help it. I was that good.
Did you take the right amount of food? I think he's cheating.
Yeah. No.
How'd you get that much more points than everybody? Like, even if I forgot to take money, you got a lot of points for your first game.
On my fucking.
I think did you take the green value each time?
You know, I watched.
Do you know how math works?
I was getting a lot of them. None of mine were in orange or red. I got them here and here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just that good.
Sure you did. I don't think you're that good.
Where's Karen? Just that.
Figures Chris would do well for a game designed for infants.
That's right. I told you.
Okay. Next, we're going to have a game of Tiddlywinks. I'm sure Chris will crush at that too.
Yes.
Screw
Yes, I
you,
will.
Chris. Thanks for joining us. If you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything we do here at Board Game Coffee. But if you want to see more right now, we got plenty of videos to choose from. And if that's not enough, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Mark Maya, and this is Board Game Coffee. And remember, have fun, keep gaming, be social. See you next week.